Hey guys, welcome back to the Strong Woman Chronicles podcast. Today we have Jackie Rhodes and Rebecca Houston on. How is everyone? How's your off season going?
Mine's going pretty good. Um, Post winning the Arnold Pro-Am, I've just kind of rolled into some off season. I haven't had an off season in a long time. And so just kind of working on things that I'm not very good at, working on core work, building, my base, a bigger base for strength and for conditioning. And then just kind of, rolling with it.
Awesome. Becky, what about you?
Yeah. My off season has been a little turbulent, so up and down. Same as Jackie, like I'm also working on sort of my weaknesses. My coach and I kind of identified the areas that I need to be better and stronger in. And so we've been doing that, like some, barefoot work, beltless work. But then, it's been a little bit tough. I've definitely my body's kind of fighting it a bit. And so had a bit of an injury last week with a sandbag load. And that's kind of taken me out. I think I'm gonna be back in on Monday. But for the most part, it's been okay. Um, I'm still trying to enjoy like life and stuff, but um, it is frustrating when your body really is kind of fighting you and
Mhm.
fighting those weaknesses. And I think I said one day, like, if it sucks, that you probably need to do it, and it's an area of weakness.
Yeah, it's me with the aqua
So
bike twice a week.
right, like so keeping that in mind, like, yeah, this is that it feels uphill at the moment, but I'm, at the end of it, I'll be stronger and um so yeah.
So with that, like how long is your off season? When is your guys' next comp? Do you have time to rest a little bit before your next comp?
Yeah, tentatively, I'm hoping to compete at the end of July, um, pending an official invitation to a competition. So, with that being said, I mean, I think that's still what, like 10 to 12 weeks out. So, I feel really, good having, the last 2 months of rest and working on weaknesses and stuff. So, I feel good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
same.
And Becky?
Um, I also, depending on invites for North America's Strongest, would love to do that show. But other than that, there are a couple master shows. I'm an old lady now, so I can compete.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I,
I
I
forgot
can,
about that.
you're right. Yeah, 40. I can compete in masters. So I like Chad Coy, so I want to go down and support his show and do like a PSL. I've always wanted to do a PSL too, but I've never been really a weight class athlete. And so, but I hear they're great. They're fun. They have payouts. And so he puts one on down in the Midwest, and so I'll do that, I
Would
Where
think.
is that?
ESL Masters be a weight class thing or is it just an age thing?
I think it's just an age thing. I can't remember
Okay.
if there was another weight class for the Masters, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's just one and it'd be open, or you know what I mean?
I think
Okay.
that's how it is at OSG, isn't it? Like it's open for women, but there's a Masters like 40 plus
Yeah.
105, and then there's like an open. So I think obviously there's just more depth with the men.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what
I
state is it
can't rem
hosted in?
um
Missouri, right? Isn't that where he's like home based or
Kansas City. Kansas City.
that's in Missouri?
Okay.
I
Kansas
think
City's
it's
in
I
Missouri.
think it's Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he said Southern Illinois, but then I think it jumped over. So it's Kansas City. Um But and then I also am considering the Oklahoma show, the America's Strongest Master too.
Ooh,
So we'll, there's a couple shows in the summertime, and then it's Worlds, right? Like I'm gonna set my sights on Worlds. The When I was very healthy and and on a kind of a uphill climb at the Arnold, I was thinking I was going to do Masters and Open at Worlds. And so that is still the consideration is to do both classes,
ooh,
40 plus and then Open Women. Um, but we'll kind of see. I think at this point now I need to just be smart and see how training and how the body is holding up
Yeah.
to that point.
I'm gonna give Claire a run for her money for 2 weight classes, hey?
Hmm. Yeah.
Love that. So, World's Strongest Man just happened, and today's topic is what if there was a World's Strongest Woman? So, what were your guys' did you guys watch WSM? What were your thoughts on WSM? Were you happy with the
Um,
outcome?
I did, but I didn't know. Are you not going to talk to us about what your off season and your next comps
Oh,
were?
if you want to. I'm just trying to
I want
be
to know if
better
you're
at closing my
going,
mouth.
I want to know if you're going to, yeah, are you doing Worlds? Did I see that? Or
Yeah,
at OSG?
yeah.
Oh, SG.
So my off season is going it's going okay. Dealing with a little bit of post off season or off season blues a little bit, but training's been going good. Training's probably the one thing that is stable every single week. But yeah, for coming into this new season, if I get an invite for North Americans, then I'll be going based on the way that JF likes to invite the Canadians. I think I'm going, but I won't know until I don't know, probably 10 weeks out, and we're nowhere near that yet. So that would be the first one. And then I have Western Canada's Strongest Woman 2 weeks after that. And then Strongest Woman in Canada, third week in September. And then knock on wood, invitational invite, which I don't know. I really don't know how they invite things. They updated the point system on the Rogue website. So if you guys are
Everyone.
interested, Rogue does a point system for strong women and strong men. And so right now I'm sitting 10th, and the Rogue Invitational invites 10, and then they invite the 11th as a reserve. So based on that, there I would be 10th in line for the throne, if you will. But I don't know. I'm not putting my eggs in that basket yet until I get an email invite. So and then after that, I would have World's Strongest Woman in November in Florida. So that's kind of my new season. I don't know if you guys count the Arnold as the start of your season or the end of the season, but I've always kind of looked at it as the end of the season just because it's like the final big bang. It's I don't know, 2 or 3 months after World's Strongest Woman, and then you have like a 5 or 6 month off. So
Yeah.
I've always seen the Arnold as like in like the end of my season. So if I don't get an invite back to the Strong Women the Arnold Strong Woman Pro, I will be throwing my name in the hat for the Pro Am. Um, just because I love competing and like I want to earn it the fair and square way, I guess. So yeah, that's what my season coming up looks like. So it's going to be very busy. That's 6 comps total. So I'm just doing my best to make sure my body's in tip-top shape. So chiro, physio, massage as regularly and scheduled as I can just to make sure that I'm in a good spot. Eating well has been going good. So yeah, that's how my off season is.
Perfect.
Um okay,
I'm a
World's
world
Strongest Man.
So
Did you guys watch?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it, but I did keep up with like the clips, like that, like the highlights and like the score sheets as the competition went on. Um, I am not someone who is a fan of the heats. I don't think that the heats work. I don't think that it's beneficial. That's just my honest opinion. I also don't think that it's very fun to watch.
Hmm.
I think if you are going to do heats, 5 people is too little. It should be extend it to 30, do three heats of 10. I think when you're doing five, there's just not enough room to make up points. So if you have a bad event or if you make a mistake, then you're shit out of luck. Like
Yeah.
you can't make it up. Um, and so I think there were two people, like if it was ran just 25 men, then there were two people who would have placed top 10 that didn't make finals.
Yeah.
And so you lose out on really who is the strongest and just who got the luck of the draw of their heats.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
I followed just like Jackie did. I mean, there is no opportunity. We talk about watching, but watching is watching Instagram, the Instagram shorts or whatever of the lifts, or you're watching people's stories. Like, unfortunately, that's the kind of thing about it. Whereas I wish it was, it's weird to think that this is the championship for our sport. Right? Like, and this is how we have to
Yeah.
watch it with a spreadsheet, and then we're watching clips. So, however, that said, like, I'm probably one of the very few that, like, I do enjoy the heats. I like how it changes some things here and there. Like, I really liked seeing some of the newer athletes to World's Strongest Men, and like some of like more they're not rookies, but they just haven't been in this, like some of the new guys in the sport really doing well and making finals, like Nick Guardione and Andra Foitu. Like, so that was really fun to see how they had a lot of success with that model. And Andra would have made it anyway. I mean, he won his heat, but it was, so that's fun. And also kind of just following along and seeing who's going to make the finals and who the top two are going to be from each heat. You
right.
know, I understand that, but at the same time, um, I think everyone is in agreement that it, it really should be different as far
Hmm.
as like how we're watching this and how it's scored. And
And I don't know
Yeah.
if they're doing like the heats because of like what is it, like the television package that they have to put it
I
together
think
in,
so.
or which, and if that's what it is, that's fine. I hope the television package is running out soon so we can revamp
I
and
think
redo
it
it.
is. From what I've heard from laws and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but what I've heard is the TV contract is coming to an end soon and they have to renew it. So I've never watched it because I don't have that kind of cable. I don't even know what station
Yeah,
it's on.
me
So
either.
I'm sure the way that they do the heats is as in episodes, I would think. I don't know, but that makes sense to me because I've never. So like that's 5 episodes and then a sixth episode for the finals, or 2 episodes for day one of finals, day two of finals. So like you can technically get, like, you have 5 heats plus two final days. That's 7 episodes, I guess. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I watched it. I watched it from the Myrtle Beach Pier live cam, but I only watched like the 2 final days from that live cam, and then I watched the watch party with Laws and Liz, and so but the 2 days before I was watching the just Instagram and stuff like that. But I agree. Like honestly, I think it would have been a lot different if there was just 25 guys. Um, just because then you could see a true test based on each other, right? And
Well,
then
and
like
how would that change the results? Because how many of them would have said, "Oh, I only need this to win my heat"? Would they
yeah,
be pushing it further because they're going
exactly.
against 25 guys versus five guys? Not to
Exactly.
be confused with the burgers.
Exactly, not the burgers.
Correct.
But like I think was it the truck pull or something where Reno got it in like 10 seconds faster than everybody else. And like if they were stacked 25 all against each other, I think that would be interesting because it's like you're watching the watch and it's like, oh shit, like I have to go fast. And you're not just watching the guys in
Right.
your heat. So
Right.
I would personally like to see that be a thing. But I mean, it's not World's Strongest Man, it's not World's Strongest Woman, it's World's Strongest Man. And I'm pretty sure it's for the TV deal that they have. But so if there was a World's Strongest Woman, comparing it to World's Strongest Man, how how would that change things? Or would you want it similar? Who would you invite? Like if you could get if you could like have the perfect world's strongest woman, what would it look like to you and who would be invited and what it look like world's strongest man currently. So Jackie, if you could kind of go into that and get it started and then we'll go through it all together and then have a bit of a discussion at the end.
So initially, I would not like it to be ran the same as World's Strongest Man. I would prefer it to be like, you know, a 25 for however, whatever the prelim events are, and then, cut down to 10 for the final. I also believe that for a prelim, you probably do need a good set of 5 to 6 events, especially for such a big title. And then for finals, I could see another 4 to 5 events. Like, I think if
Hmm.
we're talking World's Strongest Woman, it needs to be a big show. It needs to be a heavy show. Um, but I'm someone who prefers something to be heavier versus lighter. I mean, you could say that it benefits me, but it also is strong woman, not heavy
It's not high rocks.
basketball. Yeah, it's not high rocks. So yeah, so I mean that's what I would prefer, even if, like, for example, let's say the 25 women where you invite, even if some of them zero events. Obviously that's not ideal. You don't want people to zero events, but I think when if that's the case, then like it's something to just get stronger at and to work on. I don't think that it's worth diluting the event to match what everyone else is doing, because now we're not going for strength, we're going for speed.
Hmm.
And then it's like a clicker person, which is something we saw at the pro am. Was there was several events where it was like it could have been like what is it, like stopwatch error
Stopwatch area.
versus like actually seeing who is strong and efficient.
Hmm. And Becky, what about you? Like, I guess we'll get into who would you invite and where would you pull from. But if you were to have the perfect world's strongest woman, how would you organize it? Would you agree with Jackie? Would you do it same to world's strongest man? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I want the same opportunities as the men. And so for me, it's like in a perfect world, I would want it to mirror the same as the men, right? Like I would so if the men were doing heats, that's what I want to do. And I see, that opportunity that they get and it's incredible. They have a blast when they're there.
Mhm.
The exposure is amazing. They're getting to do, these really high quality, like fantastic events. They're heavy. And so I agree. Like, I think both, or, World's Strongest Man and Woman could be top 25 and score differently and all of that. But as far as everything else goes, like, it would be neat to even do it alongside them or even, or however it is. I think just it being mirroring the men and how they have it now. It looks like a fantastic experience, and so it's hard not to want to be a part of that, if that makes sense. So
Everyone looked like they were just having so much fun.
Mhm.
right? Yeah,
That's true.
and the media, the interviews behind it, the media,
Yeah.
it just it really does. It looks like a blast, and so like I said, I wanna, I think it'd be incredible for women to have that opportunity.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
think
I think for me, so I would want it alongside World's Strongest Man. So I would want it in the same week. I
Mhm.
would X-nay on the heats. I would just do 25 total, just because I think it provides more variety and more stress on the athlete and more calculated things and like just more calculated reasoning when you go up against people. What I would do is I would make it a 5-day week. The men would go day one with 5 events. The women would go day two with 5 events. And then day three would be the men's day two. And then they would have another five. And then they would chop down to the top 10 there. And then day four would be the women's day two. And then from there, I would like to see them chop down to the top 10. And then day five, the men and women top 10 go side by side. I think that'd be cool. So it'd be like a 5 day, it'd be like a work week,
How
really,
many
because that's what
events
we're doing.
total are you saying? Like 12? How many
12.
events
Yeah.
total if you're doing five, five, and then the last final two is like the final day when it's top 10, it's just 2 events?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be the
Okay.
final two. I mean, you could do four, four, and four, just so that you have, because I mean, I know like 2 events, you're not really going to steal many points at that point. So if you have day one is events, day two is 4 events, and the finals is four, but then just having the women and men side by side when just, 10 athletes per gender. I think that'd be really cool to see and just have it in one place, because I think if you were to want to make a spectacle of it, it's tough to be like, okay, this week is World's Strongest Man, next week is World's Strongest Woman. If you're a fan of the sport, you're not going to stay for 2 whole weeks. That's a lot of money as a vacationer. So if you put them together side by each, I think that could potentially work, or you'd have to make it separate times in the calendar year just to
Right.
give people a chance to figure out if that's what they want to go and see.
Right. No, I
I think I
agree.
would.
I was going to ask, would you have it um like rogue, like Arnold style, where everyone gets to do their event by themselves, or would you have it head to head,
Head to head for sure.
or would it be like the invitational where it's like five at a time?
I think 5 at a time makes sense just because you have so many athletes to go through. So it would still be the heats. But I mean, if you do like 3 men, 3 women on the same field, or no, sorry, because I said men one day, women the next. So even if you do five, you could still have your heats go, but now just all 25 athletes are counted on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. And then I think on finals day, when you have cut down to two, you can still run 4 lanes and you have 2 women and 2 men out there going head to
Mhm.
head.
Yeah,
So
Right.
I
that
think
way,
that'd be so cool.
I think that would be cool. I like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree with Becky. I want the same opportunity. So if the men get a heat of five, then it would be fair for the women to get heats of five. But I mean, I think it's cool to be like, oh, what's the death group? But at the same time, I've always hated it because, like, 2 years ago when Tristan Hoth went, he didn't make it out of his group. But if you scored all the men together, he placed eighth overall.
Right.
And that's heartbreaking as an athlete to
Mhm.
know that you technically could have been the eighth strongest man in the world, but because of the heat system, you're actually
Yeah.
14th. So that sucks, honestly. And like, I would want to get rid of that just so that I could know where I stack up and know where I need to get points from.
Right. I agree.
But that
Mhm.
that's just me. Jackie,
Yes.
where would you be pulling these women from? Would you be strategic in pulling them from certain comps?
I'm glad
Um,
you asked
and
because I have a list. Um,
regale
so
me with your 25 women.
thank
She
you.
did her homework.
So I did do my homework. I put a lot of time and thought into this. So I looked at one, I did 25 women, 3 honorable mentions. So you could have 3 alternates, if you
I
will.
agree. I think
Um,
28 is a good number, honestly, because
yeah,
if one person gets injured, or even like five
roll them in. Yeah.
women. Yeah,
And so I tried to be strategic in looking at a lot of different places because let's say, for example, an inaugural World's Strongest Woman, you're going to have to open up like your horizons to look at things, right? So I would look at like the Arnold and Rogue Invitational. I would look at OSG. I would look at your competitive like countries who have like their strongest things. So like Canada's strongest woman, Australia's strongest woman, um, USA. Those three are like, or even like Britain's, like those four are kind of like the ones that I'm like, oh, hey, those are like bigger countries that have been predominantly represented in Strongwoman the last like year or two. And then I also looked at like the Pro-Am. I looked at I looked at 82 kilo and 73 kilo athletes of like who are top performers, and not just one event, but or one competition, but like who have kind of swept like, you know, their competition in multiple like comps. So should I go through my
Please,
list?
yeah.
So this is not in any particular order, by the way. Okay. And I feel like there's a good representation of countries. So like, let me count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different countries are represented. 8. 8 different countries are
Which
represented.
I
But
think is pretty, I think that's a, isn't that pretty close to what is represented at OSG? I feel like you
yeah,
know, like I feel like it's about 8. I think I've counted seven or 8 like in 24. I know there were
yeah.
that many countries
And
represented,
then
but
I think it also opens up, like you said, Jackie, like, are there other women who would be open to representing a different country to make it more? So, like, if someone had asked me and said, hey, I really want you to represent Peru because my mom is an immigrant from Peru. I don't have dual citizenship, but you know, I have a strong connection to that culture. I'm bilingual. Like, yes, I would do it. Um, but I don't know, like, if there's anyone else who is in this lineup who would say, yeah, I'll also do it. And then, like, we have more. I am someone who strongly believes I would rather it be a strong show and showcase the strength than invite countries or people from a country just because they're from a different country and then it looks bad. It's like, well, it makes people question like, why is this person there when you can see a like distinct difference in like competition. So that's just my opinion. I have Inez, of course, because she's great. Olga, who just won the Arnold. AJ, Rebecca Roberts, Andrea Thompson, Hannah Lindsay, Lucy, Jen, Mel, Jackie O, Katie Blunden, and Sam, because those are like the women who like within the last like calendar year, I guess from like today to 2025 May, who have competed at like the Invitational or the Pro Arnold.
Mhm.
Then I put me because I just won the Pro-Am, so I'm looping myself in with those women because I'll be there
You're
next
allowed
year.
to.
Thank
Yep.
you.
as
Thank
you
you.
should, as you should.
Thank you. And then I put Alira Joy on there. She won Australia's Strongest Woman last year. She got second place at Worlds at OSG this last year. She got second place at the Pro-Am. I think she's a formidable force. I put Casey Croy on there as well because she got third at the Pro-Am. So I looked at the podium of the Pro-Am. I
I think
put
she
Becky
was,
on.
wasn't she second?
Uh, Alira was second and Casey was third.
No, Alira was third. Because Alira beat me by half a point.
Oh, then I have those switched. So,
Yeah. But I mean,
um,
but right, I mean, but like to say like
yeah,
she
I said podium. I also
yeah.
put you on there, Becky, because like going into finals, you were 1 point behind me, and the recalibration of points when we went down to finals,
Mhm.
I don't think was a good representation, if that makes any sense. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Um, Then I put Sarah Rainbow. I don't know if you guys watched Australia's Strongest Woman this weekend. I also don't know if you're familiar with Sarah. So I have watched her for a really long time because, you know, I came from
Mhm.
powerlifting, and she has been like a powerlifting idol of mine for a really long time. She has the all-time world
She's pretty
record for
cool.
total. She is so nice too, like the nicest
Yeah.
person. And so I put her on there. She killed it. I think she beat second place by like
10
not 10
points,
points or
right?
11 points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
She killed
Um,
it.
She's
I,
coming.
she
She's
is.
coming.
She is. I put Ellie on there. She's been doing really, really well from OSG, the Arnold, and Australia's this weekend. Destiny, I put on there because she also did well at the Arnold Pro Am and at OSG. Um, this is where I kind of get into weight classes and like, I don't want to say random people, but just people that have done things in weird places, if that makes sense. So I put Summer Johnson on there. Summer
Mm.
just she won the 82 Pro Am. She competed alongside with me at America's Strongest and got third on 2 weeks of prep because she was going to do bodybuilding and then said, no, I don't want to do bodybuilding. I'm going to go to strongman. So, whatever. I think given the time to do a proper prep, she is crazy strong.
Yeah.
I put Nadia Stowers on there because it's Nadia. She got fourth or fifth right behind me at OSG. She got fourth at America's Strongest. I know that she's been dealing with injuries and stuff the last year, but I would never put anything past her to like not show up and compete if there is like, I guess, formidable prize, glory, whatever.
Mm.
I also put Ashley Crawford on there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ashley. She got
Yeah.
second at OSG. Um,
In the
and
82s.
in the 82s, yeah.
Yeah.
She
Um,
went, she did the Shaw with us, didn't
it,
she?
Yeah.
no, not with me. So it must have been the year I
Oh,
did. It must have been the first year because I didn't do it the
Yeah.
first year.
was it the
It
first? I
was the
thought it
first
was the
year. Yeah.
second year. Oh, okay. And
You
she
were
did
there, Becky.
she did really well.
Yeah,
Mm.
she's super strong. I trained with her for a little bit because she was in Oklahoma City for some time. Um, but she's super strong. I heard a rumor she might be going to Open. I welcome her with open arms. I would love
She's
for
been
that.
around for a really long time. Like when I
Yeah,
competed at the Strongest Woman in the World circuit, Ashley competed in the U82s back in like 2018,
yeah.
2019. So I believe I first met Ashley. Oh God. I actually I first met her in Alaska at Strongest Woman in the World. That's where I first met. No, 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 because she death glared me in the sauna in Norway when she was
Good.
like, "Why are you like, how much more do you have to cut?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm open. I'm just here to support you." And she was just like, "Death glare." And it's like, I'll leave. The pool's better anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
2018. That's so she's been around.
Yeah, she's been around. I think she's a good competitor. Um,
Amazing.
Yeah, I put Morgan Irons on there. I think she would have been on the podium, or at least in the finals for the Pro Am had she not had a slight injury. Really good presser, so I think she would be there. Erin Murray won the 82 kilo at OSG. She's been around. She's been on the Pro Arnold stage. Um, so I think she would do really well. And then Sarah Johnson, because Sarah Johnson has swept the 73s. Um, she's won every 73 show this last year. I think she's really strong. I think she could do really well. I don't know. Again, I don't know if any of these people would be open to doing something and being like, yeah, I'm going to push myself with open weights. And that's kind of where I was saying earlier, like, yes, there's like weight class athletes in here, but it's like, hey, let's still make it an open show, make it heavy, and see if they're up for the challenge.
Yeah.
My three honorable mention people was Cherry Machindo because she is such a beast. I know she hasn't competed in the last year or so, but um, so strong. Like
Yeah.
anytime she shows up, her deadlift and like she's just a good mover. She's a good
Yeah.
deadlifter, a good presser. She's got it all. I
I
had
love
to
her.
include the GOAT, Claire Myler. Have to include her. She came in, played with the open in the open ladies category at the Arnold Pro Am, and she hung with us, made it to finals, finished sixth, I think, fifth or sixth, right? Fifth or
Y-
sixth.
y- Fifth.
Yeah, I can't remember, fifth or sixth. She
Yeah,
finished,
I can't remember.
I guess, again,
Yeah.
she made finals. So,
Yep.
again, for someone who is over, she is over the age of 50. I want to be just like her when I'm older. And then I put Shayna W. I can't pronounce her name. She got second at America's Strongest Woman this last weekend. She competed at OSG a few years ago, but hasn't competed since then. And so that's why I put her in the honorable mention because I wasn't like I just don't know.
But she podium when she did right at
No,
OSG when she
no,
was
you're thinking. I think you're thinking of Nicole. Shayna. I
she
think she
had a
got
podium, I think. She because
not at
she was
OSG.
ranked on the Rogue site.
Right, but even if you get make top 10, you get points.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So
Mhm.
maybe they took her from a top 10. I thought for some reason I thought she had podiumed one year. I don't remember but from
Yeah.
OSG. But
So
yeah,
anyways,
but she
those are
podiumed this
mine.
weekend at the
She did. She
Australia
looked
Strongest,
so
right?
good. She looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the list I came up with. Again, if I left anyone out off,
Well,
no,
I
no,
think like a
no
healthy,
direct
we
shade.
got to talk about like a
No,
healthy
that's
Nancy
solid.
Johnson. Like I know we're talking
Yeah.
about like
Yeah,
27, and who knows, but like, man, and that's the thing too, is like Nancy, like some of these athletes, so you look at like Kira Rixton who came to Shaw, you look at Nancy who showed up to Shaw, every year almost that we were there, like, um, and they were top 10 in those
yeah,
open and Shaw was heavy, and so it was like, and they placed well in those at that show, I should say. And so like, but yeah, healthy Nancy Johnson too.
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and
There's
that's
this
I was trying not to think of like, oh, what if this person was super great, like, in their prime. I was trying to think
right,
like realistic, like if someone was sending out invites tomorrow for a
right.
Right.
show, who would I pick? But I agree, if
Yeah.
Nancy was healthy, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But there's
Becky,
all
who are your 25?
I agree. I agree mostly with Jackie's. I think there's a few, there are some like this Grace Hilborn out of the UK is
Mhm.
also very strong. She podium at I think it was like a Britain's or Europe's. I'm terrible at knowing the different but one of their bigger shows like with like Donna Moore and Naomi.
Oh, I didn't mention them either. They're great.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's so
It's
hard
great.
because like how do I think there definitely has to be a clear
Yeah.
like there would have to be a clear path, right? And then
I
like
think
where are
the
they going
problem,
to choose from?
right,
Northern,
where are they going to pick from? Because it's like, do
right?
you
Yeah.
look at all the podiums at OSG and like, is that equitable? Is it equitable to say, you know, all three people from the podium of 73 get in over like fourth or fifth or sixth place of OSG? Like, where's the guidelines and where's the equitability? Like, I understand the inclusiveness, but also it's world's strongest woman, not like medium strongest woman.
Right. And
We
so
hope
I
you're the strongest.
yeah, and I completely agree. So I think it needs to be also picked from the open competition. So either, and if a weight class athlete wants that opportunity, like you have like jump in, like, jump into those they've done it before, you just have to kind of jump into those competitions, and the open class. But I truly feel passionately that they do need to pick from open class
Right.
competitions
Mm.
I agree.
to
Yeah.
compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
And it should be an
I
open
agree.
weight show
Right,
with open
Yeah.
weights.
right.
So that's your pick then, basically Jackie's pick.
My pick is Jackie's pick. Yeah, yeah, samesies. Cl
Very
Fair.
good at this job.
Okay, so for
I'm ready to hear
mine,
some argumentation,
Yes.
Miss Scorpio over here.
so I like to think I'm a strongman purist. So if Giants Live is taking World's Strongest Woman, then I think it needs to mirror the men as well. So OSG is the pathway for the men to get into Giants Live and then to World's Strongest Man. So I think that if we are being purists in this, then OSG needs to be the main source of where we get our athletes from, nowhere else. Well, I mean, that comes in. I think there should be some offs. where they get them from. Obviously, World's Strongest Man and Giants Live is far more established in the men's side than it is the women. So it will take time to figure out a system. But if we were to host World's Strongest Woman in November and it was Giants Live, um, I would be looking back at so I would look at the top 10 for women from last year. So I actually have that with me right here. So, and I would also include the U82s because I think the U82 women can hang with the open. I would not go to the U73. I think if you want to qualify, you either need to get your butt in the open or in the U82. I'm not going to be favoriting anyone just because you're strong or whatever. If you're strong, then throw your name in the hat. Like if you're a strong 82 and you want to compete with the open, then compete with the open. If you're a strong 73 and you think you can hang and you think you deserve a spot, then get your butt in the open. Like plain and simple. But
Wait,
what
Jackie,
I
before
would,
you go,
yeah,
you're going to say, you're saying the top 10 sorry, before you do this, is your top 10 the 10 from 20, are you saying they would take the top 10 from like
2025.
2025 and
2025.
26?
26 hasn't happened yet.
So
So
she's
like
saying
if they were to be invited, if they were
she's
to
saying
host,
if World's Strongest Woman by Giants Live was going to happen this November, these are who would get the invites.
Oh, okay. You're not saying in March when normal. Okay.
yeah. And so I was looking at a bunch of different global competitions. So I would be going with the podium from OSG last year. So that would be me, that would be Alira Joy, Australia, that would be Andrea Thompson, Great Britain, Katie from Australia. I would even put Destiny in there. I know she underperformed at the Arnold, but she's top 10 strongest women in the world. So I would give her an invite. And then Ellie Latemore from Australia. And then Patricia Smith. I don't know what flag she is. I'm so
I
sorry,
think she's from
Patricia.
the
But I'd
Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. That's
Netherlands,
so
yeah. So
great.
I'd have her in there.
I forgot about
Jackie
that.
Rhodes, she came fourth. And then I would also be inviting Nadia because she came sixth. So, and then from there, I would also be looking at the U82 podium, which has Aaron Murray, Ashley Crawford, and Morgan. Oh no, what's her name? She placed third. Sorry, Morgan. But I would invite her. And then I would also go back the year prior. So that, oh, and then I would also invite Taylor Doxy because she came in 10th at OSG. So that would be 10 plus three from the U82s. And then I would be looking at the Arnold Pro Am because that is an international competition. So I would invite the top three um, since Jackie Rhodes and Alira Cowley's already in there, I would be inviting Casey and then Rebecca Houston and then Claire Myler because they were the next ones in line. So that's 16, I believe. And then from there, I would go back to 2024 for the top 10. So we already have Jackie Rose, Rebecca Houston, Jackie Osczevski, Katie Blunden, but we don't have Joe Kimitanga, which is 17, Rebecca Roberts, 18, Cherry Machindu is 19, Jennifer Lyle is 20, and Morgan Rhodes is 21. Oh, Morgan Irons. I'm so sorry.
I
Morgan
know.
Irons. Wow, you adopted her? That's
I
crazy.
did. Yes.
It's
And
crazy.
then Monica Johnson, but I think she's not doing it anymore.
Yeah,
So
she
I
also
don't know if she's
I think she's also stepping up into masters if she decides to like compete again.
Yeah.
hmm
You
And then
just
I would
never
be
know.
looking,
She could
yeah,
jump back in the scene.
yeah. And then I would go back
OSG this year
another
has a yoke.
year.
She's showing up.
Yeah, Yoke and Farmers, she's there.
Yeah.
And then I would go back to 23 for the podium. So we have Rebecca Roberts, Lucy Underdown, and Nicole Greenwich. Lucy Underdown, of course, she competes at the Invitational and the Arnold. So this is where I'd get these athletes from. So Lucy Underdown would get an invite. Nicole Greenwich, I believe she's retired from the sport, so I would go down one to Gabby Dixon. If she's healthy and competing, I would give her the invite. If she's not, I would go down one more to Inez, but Inez is the year down even from there. So in 22, the podium was Olga in first, Andrea in second, Inez in third. So that's where I would pick up Inez and Olga. Andrea is already invited. And then from there, I would also be looking at the podium for the U82s in that year, which is Donna Moore, Ashley Crawford, and Nadia. So Donna Moore would get her invite from there. Um, and then the U82s from 23, which is Erin Murray, Nadia Stowers, Sam Bellevue. So I would also be inviting Sam as well. And I think that's 24, 25. And if I were to go back one more year to 2021 for the OSG podium, we have Annabelle Chapman. Oh no, this is 20. No, I don't know. Annabelle Chapman, Inez Carrasquillo, and Rebecca Roberts. So that's where I would also invite Annabelle if she was still active. Um,
She's pregnant,
and
right? With her second?
she
Yeah,
is
yeah.
pregnant. So a lot of those girls are already on. It's just Melissa and Hannah Lindsay that wouldn't be on that list. But then I would also be looking at Natural World Strong Woman, which has Angelica Jardine. So I would also be pulling her and giving her an invite. And then I would be giving Melissa and Hannah Lindsay a reserve invite just because they are strong and I would want to see how they stack up. Oh, Chelsea Morgan, that's who it was, not Morgan. It was Chelsea Morgan that was on the podium. Because then I would also be looking at North Americans, but I'm hesitant because if we do that, like if there is no direct qualifying system of where we're pulling them from, like let's be real, Europe's and the UK's, they pulled so like Giants Live obviously is, you know, over from across the pond, Great Britain. So they heavily favor inviting athletes from there. And if that's the way it's going to be, then that's fine, I guess. Then we're going to be looking at UK's and then Europe's. But then we also have to look at North Americans because then that would clump together the US and Canada. And you could take the top three Americans and top three Canadians. But then you'd also have to look at Africa's strongest man and woman. Then you'd have to look at Australia's strongest man and woman, which I would be giving Sarah Rainbow a what did I just say? I'd be
Reserve.
giving her sorry?
A reserve.
I'd be giving Sarah Rainbow a reserve invite, but I would also kind of want to see her throw her name in the hat with OSG this coming year. I want to see how she does. I
I
want to
think that's her
compete with her.
plan because I think Australia's strongest man and woman is a qualifier for OSG.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to compete against her so bad.
Mhm.
So if I were to go to North Americans, then we'd have to consider Australia's, Africa's, UK's, Europe's. But then it's like, okay, well, what about New Zealand? What about Russia? What
Scotland.
about you have to figure it all out. So it's just like, would you do an Oceania qualifier? Would you do um like a true American, so North Americans like Central America, South America? Would you do an Americas qualifier? Like where but that's just me being like, I want a system. I want to know how they're getting invites. And so that's where I would be a purist and just take from old OSGs, which would include a lot of the girls from the Invitational and from the Arnold anyway.
I
So
think
How
that's
can
where
I
it's
ask?
hard. Sorry, go ahead, Becky.
And that's interesting because I'm curious how, like, Shaw Classic technically was an international, like, they considered that an
technically,
international pro level show. I'm interested to see, like, how come no pulling from that? Like the
for
podium,
me, it would be the inconsistency
Okay,
because like the Shaw's not happening this year, and I don't know if it's
right.
happening next year.
So,
So with Festival Fort Holmes, it's happening every year. So that like North Americans, the women were just introduced in 24, but the men were doing it for years prior to that. And then before the Western men were involved, it was just the Eastern men. So a lot of the French Canadian men were involved. So the Festive Fort Homes has been going on for a while, and that's been pretty established for the men, I would say, but it's new for the women. So that's where it's like, would you introduce the Shaw or would you introduce North Americans? But then if you are going to do the Shaw and it is international, then you need to be consistent. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not
Right.
shooting against the Shaw because I love the Shaw. It was a great competition. Um, yeah, I think it was great. So I would, in order to get the flags, I would want to see international invites coming from international comp. So that's where I would pull from the Arnold Pro-Am, because you have all these flags represented in coming at the Arnold Strongwoman Pro. I think there was only three flags represented: the US, Canada, and Great Britain, or the UK. So it's not very diverse. And I would want to see diversity from current people competing and from former champs if they are still currently competing. So that's where I would draw mine from. Obviously, like, I want to see the strongest there, but if you think you're the strongest, then pull up with the opens.
Yeah. I think where it gets difficult, like to compare, like, well, it's Giants Live. There's no, I mean, so I can't say that there's no Giants Live women's shows because Giants Live does like
Yeah,
Britain's Strongest Woman. But again, that's one woman show.
yeah.
And
And then there's the Extinct Games. Like, that's an international comp, but it's just not well established yet.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
last year, it only was in its second year, but I think it could grow to be something really amazing. And isn't there like one in the Philippines or Asia somewhere that Lynn goes to? He went,
Probably. He went to Japan, I know, a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I saw a
yeah,
couple, I saw quite a few people there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
So I think it'd be cool to establish different like OSG pathways in like maybe like Eastern Asia or like Western Asia or like Central Asia, and then have like Northern European and Southern European and then UK, or like somehow we can't lump them together. Heaven forbid you lump the UK with Europe. They hate that. So like if you would want to do like the Netherlands with like all of those Nordic states with the UK and Ireland and Scotland, and call it like, I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, if you would want, I don't know, and then have everyone funnel through to OSG and then take the top 10 every year and then the top 10 from the years past at World's Strongest Woman and like keep sending those invites. Um, Personally, that's how I would like to see it done, but at the end of the day, I do want to see the strongest there. I don't want to just give a handout invite. Um, for me, I've had to earn every single invite I've been given, and it's tough when you watch people who it's like, okay, well, how did you get that? Like, where did that invite come from? Did you have to qualify for it? Did you have to earn it? Like, what comp did I not sign up for that you earned your invite at? Because if I would have known, I would have been there because I had my calendar open and I had time to prep. So I
right.
think when it comes down to it for me, I want to see that fairness of like, this is where it's going to happen, this is where it's coming from, or at least like, well, they're three-time America's Strongest Woman, so she's obviously invited. You know what? Fair. So,
Yeah, no, I agree because that's something that like, it's taken a while the last couple of years for, for example, like with the Pro-Am for the
mm,
Arnold to the Arnold Classic, it's always been like an understood, hey, the winner of the Pro-Am gets to go to the Arnold Strongman Classic, but it wasn't in writing until last
yeah,
year. And I think when it's put in writing and put out, for public knowledge, it
yeah,
creates a sense of security for the people who are winning, because if it's just an understood of, hey, or a rumor of, hey, if you win this or if you top 10 this, you're going to get an invite. And then what if you're someone who like isn't super connected with,
yeah.
you know, the right people? And then you get overlooked or told, hey, no, you're actually not going to get this because we don't know who you are. Or, I think that's where it makes it scary.
Yeah. And just kind of unfair because it's like if you got an invite because you know someone who knows someone, what are
Right.
we doing?
Right.
So, but like, yeah, so that's where I would draw my invites from. And I guess if we were to do that, we would have a lot of flags represented. Um, but we would also have current reigning champs or current top three or current yada 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 or prior champs that are, Olga won in 23 or 24. Olga won in 22. So, and Olga won the Arnold this year. So clearly she's still very active and clearly she deserves the invite. But if you can validate, like, this is the pathway that we got it from, it's from all these open comps, all these international comps, to me, that would be fair. But I'm not Darren.
Right. Well, and even like you were asking earlier, like, is it diversity or like, are we going to go predominantly American? I think even like you said, there is a lot of diversity, but half of them are still American. And I think,
Mhm.
unfortunately, with that being said, like, there are millions of people, like we're just a lot more dense, like there's just more density here in America, within land mass. I mean, you could put all of Europe and
Mhm.
Australia and stuff, it's all, I don't
Got
know,
a bunch
there's
of dense Americans, hey?
dense in the head too, let me tell you. Have you tried having a conversation with my husband? Dense.
Oh yeah, I sure have, actually.
um and so I
Weren't
think that,
wasn't weren't
good.
most of the men from World weren't a lot of the men at World's Strongest Man from America? Didn't they make a joke about it being like
There
America
were a
against
lot of Americans,
Vancouver?
but then you had like Austin, who was representing Mexico.
Oh,
You
sure.
had
Okay.
Martins, who was representing Latvia. So you had some Americans who were representing other countries to make it more diverse, which again, like, if that's what it takes for, like, or if that's what, a promoter is going to ask of me, like, I don't have a problem doing that. I
Yeah.
could see where maybe someone who doesn't have a strong cultural connection to that may have a
Yeah.
problem. But
Yeah. Like I'm a mixed breed from Europe, but I mean, I'm a third generation Canadian, so I'm representing Canada. Like, but I mean, Jackie, you totally could represent Peru because you're what, first generation American?
yeah, well, so my dad is, so it's kind of weird actually. So I've done my ancestry. We can go down a rabbit hole. So I've done my ancestry and I'm actually like 40 something percent Norwegian. So my
Ooh.
dad's mom immigrated here from Denmark.
Oh.
Um, so my both sides of my family don't go, they're not American for a really long time.
Mhm.
My dad, because my grandmother immigrated here from Denmark in like the early like 20s, that was
Mhm.
very much like a period of time in America where you learn English, you don't talk about the country you're from. So she never instilled, I mean, and she was really little, so she never instilled like any Danish customs or anything like that.
Mhm.
And then with my mom, she immigrated here from Peru. So and like her family immigrated here as well. So like her brothers. So I have all of like my cousins who were born in Peru who have moved here. So I just have a lot more like cultural connection to that.
Yeah.
But I think I've counted like on my ancestry, I have like 15 different countries. Like I am,
Oh,
like you said, I'm a mutt. Like I've got,
yeah.
there's so many things on there. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
like,
Becky's seventh generation Minnesotan, so
I'm Irish. And
oh, would you represent Ireland then?
no, probably not.
Yeah, but honestly, I think if it was like you have very strong roots, like
yeah,
Austin Andrade obviously has pretty strong roots. It's complicated if you listen to his interview, but he has strong roots, and so that's I think why he decided. I could be wrong, but like that would give you an option too, Jackie. And like I don't think we've ever seen a Peruvian flag at OSG ever. So that would be a first and super cool, but it would be completely your choice. But I think if it was like you're very in touch, I agree with you. If you're in touch and like you're kind of like first generation American or whatever, and you choose the option of doing that, I think that would make the promoter very happy with flags being represented. But at the end of the day, like I would still want to see the strongest people who are still like training hard, competing hard at this show.
No, I agree. I think that, that would be fun. And kind I guess, it kind of circles back to what we were talking at the very beginning. OSG is still on the table for me. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not since I have the invite for the Arnold
I thought you were going to
secured.
Disney World.
I am. I mean, I am going to Disney World.
Oh, it might be an and situation.
Yeah, I mean, so like Colton,
Florida's
um,
an hour away. I'll come.
it is. So
Never
Colton,
been.
I think his plans are to come back and compete. He's currently cutting. He's gonna try to compete at 231, which I think his knees would like a lot better. But then, so right now the goal, like the plan is he's gonna compete. I'm going to be bag bitch and help all his clients. And then we're gonna go to Disney World. If for some reason there is like if for some reason something comes out and it says, hey, you have to do OSG this year, I'm gonna do it.
Good.
But right now the plan is to not do OSG and focus on the Arnold
I
because
will convince you. The Terror Twins need to have their day again. Why
we
would you leave
do
me hanging
we
like that?
will at North America's.
Twice. We need to have it twice. We had it
Well,
twice at the Shaw,
And
and
I
there's
want
no
to
Shaw.
I want a
maybe we also
sandwich.
both get a really cool invite.
True.
So we'll see. We'll see. I also don't know if I'll do Americas later this year. There's so much in the air. Like I'm just like I think because I know for sure I have that invite, like I want to do so well that I'm just
Yeah.
focused on that. And I'm just taking it one comp at a time. Like right now I'm focused on North Americas. If something else comes up or I don't get invited to that or whatever, then I'll move on to the next show and look and see what's coming up next. But just kind of working on where I suck.
Yeah. We all are. Becky
Sandbags.
with her sandbags, me with my
Me with
stupid
my sandbags.
Stairmaster.
They're terrible.
Man,
Stupid
let me tell
sandbag.
you, Stairmaster twice a week and then Echo Bike 3 times a week. Let me tell you, if I ha if I'm alive to compete, if you guys could just do like a wellness check on me like once a month, that'd be great. Cause like I cry. I literally will grab onto the Stairmaster handle, put one foot on the step and just stare at it for like a minute, and then I'll accept my fate and then I'll just start. Cause it sucks.
Oh, times have changed. Like I used to be like I remember like first starting in the sport and it was like put on mass, like
Yep.
heavy, 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 like you got to be stronger. And which was true for me at the time. But now it's shifted and it's like, ah, nah, you need to be conditioned. You need to be
Mhm.
moving well, like, so
Yep.
it's a cool place to be because it's like, at least, you're strong enough. You're very, you guys, like, it's a cool place to be just strong and able to do all the weights. And then now you just have to be faster and more
Strong,
conditioned.
fast. Yeah.
Strong, fast,
I
all the
feel, I mean,
things.
mine's a little different because, like, coming
Oh
from
yeah, you're
powerlifting,
powerlifting. Yeah.
yeah, coming from powerlifting, like, I had already had, a mid 500 deadlift and I benched 275. So I was already statically strong.
Yep.
And I had a decent overhead because I did a small period of time in CrossFit where it's all overhead. So I had that like overhead, like base as
Mhm.
well. Um, but then like going from CrossFit to powerlifting, it is different. It's like, okay, I don't need to do as much conditioning because you're sitting for 10 minutes between each
10? I
attempt.
thought it was 15.
Oh, listen, it depends. If it's cardio day, it's 10. If it's not, then
Got
it's
it.
like 15 to 20.
Right.
And so then like then I'm going into strongman and it's like, okay, I am strong. But then I don't know if it's similar for you in like Canada or in Minnesota, but like the local competitions I did here in like Oklahoma and Texas, I was very often I competed by myself or I competed
Yep.
against someone who was not,
One other girl.
Mhm.
and they were not on the same level of me like competition wise, and so I got into a bad habit of just like doing what I needed to do to win instead of pushing myself.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you live and you learn. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's been a long ride.
Anyways, ladies, thank you so much for your feedback and input in this. I think opening up this conversation of what would happen if World's Strongest Woman were to take shape and form needs to be on the table because the
Yeah.
sport is evolving in that direction anyway. And I think it's just fun to like speculate what would happen, where the invites would come from. I'd love to see a clear pathway, but we all know that's not how it works. We all know that there's just invites given, which is fine, I guess, but having clarity is my favorite thing, definitely. But yeah, I had a lot of fun because it's always nice to hear like other people's opinions. And like if you listen to the Big Dog podcast with Aaron Murray, AJ, and Sarah Johnson, they also talked about this topic. So go and listen to that podcast. And their perspective is a little bit different than the three of ours as well. It's pretty similar, but a little bit different. I think they included more U73s and a few different countries as well. AJ touches on it really well. So go and listen to that podcast as well. Thank you ladies so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you guys and I love you guys so much and I'm so happy to see you.
I know. I'm so
If
glad to see you guys.
we need to train together, if North Americans happens for the three of us, we should get together and train.
It'll be
So
great.
just the three of us though, the three thickums unite.
Three
Okay.
thickums. I'll need it. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for listening. You guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.